on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A fatal wreck left one man dead on Friday. The police now identifying the deceased. And today is National Voter Registration Day. Coming up, we'll tell you where you can register to vote today. Plus, a closer look into the investigation of the Titan submersible. We learn new information as the investigation kicks off.
And weather's going to be pretty consistent all week long thanks to the high pressure overhead. All of us going to continue down the path along the mid and upper 90s. But as we go into next week, we're going to need to start watching the tropics again. We'll take a look at all that in the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and happy Tuesday, Crossroads.
Yes, happy Tuesday and also happy Voter Registration Day.
Yes, Voter Registration Day. It's important to get out there. There is a 50-state effort to get people registered to vote.
Every vote counts.
Every vote counts, and if you haven't voted in a while, you could have been removed from the voter rolls. So you want to be sure to go to our website, click on that voter registration story, and there are links to help you verify that.
Definitely, go check that out for sure.
Well, Parker, something that is verified is the heat. The heat. That we're going to anticipate later this week.
Correct. You know what else, Carolina? The humidity. In fact, you're looking firsthand at it.
Heat worse.
Yeah, I was going to say you're looking firsthand at the humidity right now. If you're looking live here in Victoria, if you're tuning in with us this morning, plenty warm and humid out there right now. There's actually a little bit of fog over this, and that's exactly what you're looking at right now. 75 degrees, and your dew point matching that temperature, 75, bringing you 100% humidity, which is making your visibility down to 0 miles. And in fact, I'm looking at your visibility map. You can see we're still at 0 miles right here in Victoria, but the fog isn't actually in the city. It's on the outlying areas of the city where there's a little bit more grass and water that's transpiring off the grass with the water cycle. But looking at your radar this morning, that's also pretty clear out this morning. No rain out there. In fact, there's a little bit of the radar being refracted towards the ground because it's so humid. So you're getting some kind of tree echoes off the radar this morning. But going into the rest of this week and going into later today, that fog, if there is any out there, that's going to clear right back to sunny skies because high pressure is going to continue over us all throughout the rest of this week. But as we go into later this week, that high is going to continue moving closer to the east coast, and that's going to open the door for tropical activity, possible tropical activity as we go into next week. We're going to have more information on that later on Sunrise. Because if you're seeing your kiddos at the door this morning, I packed them some lightweight clothing and some extra water. Get up to about 95 today, and then coming up next after the full, and we'll come up next in the full forecast. We'll take a look at that and more. Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Victoria Police identified the driver who died in an early in an early Friday morning crash on Sam Houston Drive. 27-year-old Jose Martinez of Blessing hit an electric pole, and the vehicle he was driving became engulfed in flames near the intersection of Sam Houston Drive and Lilac Lane. Police are still investigating the crash. Police arrested an Edna Elementary teacher who also coaches high school sports for solicitation of a minor, among other charges. 28-year-old Logan Allen O'Connor faces 3 felony offenses after his arrest. He's been charged with the online solicitation of a minor, which is a 3rd-degree felony, and 2 second-degree felonies: improper relationship between educator and a student, and the sexual performance of a child. O'Connor is a teacher at Edna Elementary and a coach for high school varsity sports. He's also a graduate of Edna High School and started working for the district in 2020. If found guilty, O'Connor could face up to 40 years in prison. He was taken to the Jackson County Jail but is now out on bond. Logan O'Connor is also the son of Edna ISD Superintendent Robert O'Connor. We've reached out to Edna ISD for comment. We have not heard back at this time. However, the district posted on their social media that Logan Allen O'Connor officially resigned Monday night. The Shiner Police Department is trying to make businesses aware of counterfeit money after a local business reported receiving a counterfeit $20 bill. The fake bill had the word replica on both sides. Shiner PD reminds the public that it is a crime to intentionally or knowingly possess counterfeit money and reported the incident to the U.S. Secret Service. They also recommend businesses train their staff to be vigilant and to know how to detect fake bills and to call local law enforcement if you suspect anyone has counterfeit money. Moving to new revelations about the underwater implosion of the Titan submersible.
A Coast Guard hearing is shedding new light on the Titan submersible disaster that killed 5 people last summer. Investigators sharing this photo showing the vessel at the bottom of the ocean, and engineers now describing the working conditions at Ocean Gate, which made the Titan.
Did you feel a sense of urgency or being rushed to get to operationals, to start operations? Was there pressure?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Investigators trying to piece together what went wrong 2 miles underwater. The crew was in touch with their support ship via text message. One of their last communications, all good here. Half an hour later, they texted, dropped to wait, a sign of crisis, meant to bring the Titan back to the surface. The hearing revealing problems with the vessel. There were reportedly more than 100 equipment issues in recent years. The Titan was never pressure tested to industry standards and even partially sunk 4 weeks before the doomed mission. Ocean Gate's former top engineer also claims he didn't initially know their mission was to reach the Titanic site.
And why did you depart the company?
Got fired.
When did you get fired?
June 2019. Because I wouldn't let him go to the Titanic.
He also spoke about clashing with Ocean Gate CEO who died in the implosion.
He asked me, he wanted me to be the pilot that runs the Titanic missions. And I told him I'm not getting in it.
Other employees expressed concern, saying teenagers were also working on the Titan without supervision. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
A recent report shows the state of Texas removed more than 1 million Texans from voter rolls. Victoria County Elections Administrator Margetta Hill says there are several reasons this can happen. If a person moves, dies, or just doesn't report a change of address, it could cause the state to remove them. Hill says not voting for long periods of time is another reason.
We don't have a current address for you. And so that would cause you to be on a list of voters stating that we don't have the correct address for you. And you have 2 federal elections, which is about 8 years, to vote to get that changed. And if you haven't voted in 8 years, they take you off.
If you're registered and want to make sure you're still on the voting rolls, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. And for those of you that aren't registered to vote, you have several options today. As part of National Voter Registration Day, local officials will be helping getting eligible voters vote ready. They'll have information and help you register from 8 to 5 at the Victoria College Student Center at the at the College Sports Center as well, the University of Houston Victoria Commons, Victoria Public Library, and the Elections Office, which is inside the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center. In order to vote this November, you must be registered by October 7th. On Monday, Governor Greg Abbott announced his endorsement for House District 30 candidate A.J. Louderback. Louderback won the Republican runoff in May for that seat against former Victoria Mayor Jeff Bouknight, who had been previously endorsed by the governor. Louderback served 5 terms as Jackson County Sheriff. He will face Stephanie Bassam in the general election on November 5th. In a statement, the governor wrote, A.J. Louderback has been a strong advocate for law enforcement for years. Together we will build a better and brighter future for generations to come. Louderback also got the endorsement of Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. The suspect in Sunday's attempted assassination of former President Trump made his first court appearance Monday. Ryan Wesley Routh appeared in federal court in West Palm Beach. Routh is charged with possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, particularly a convicted felon, and possession of a firearm with an obliterated serial number. More charges could be added as the investigation continues. Routh's next court date is scheduled for September 23rd for a bond hearing. The time is now 6:39 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. After years of planning and waiting, the Victoria Regional Airport will have more space for airplanes at the airport.
The presidential and vice presidential candidates are back on the campaign trail today, following Sunday's potential assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. I'm Christiane Cordero with the latest from Washington.
And also coming up next after the break in the full forecast, we'll take a look at how your day is going to pan out with the clouds and also your temperatures. We'll also look at your weather and health forecast. And coming up later on Sunrise, we're going to take another look at your marine forecast and what's stirring up out there in the tropics. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with us this morning and looking live in Cuero, it's still plenty warm and humid up there in Cuero, but y'all are not really seeing any fog right now. Most of the fog is actually in Victoria County. We're going to look at that visibility map right after this because it's 76 degrees in Cuero right now and your dew point 2 degrees off at 74, bringing humidity to 95%. So definitely plenty humid out there. Like I said, nonetheless, plenty humid. Not really expecting any fog up there in Cuero because, like I said, looking at that visibility map, right now, it's all around Victoria County right now, but it's actually not in the city. There might be a little kind of streaks kind of floating through the city, because all the fog is actually going to be in the outlying areas where all the grass is and where all the water is transpiring in the plants. But the good news is if you do see that fog out there, please be careful on the roads. That should be burning off between 8 to 9 a.m. because as it burns off, looking at future clouds and radar for today, it's going to burn off right back to the sunny skies. And I hope you've liked the weather we've had the last few days because it's going to be the exact same every day this week. And we'll look at that 7-day right after this because looking at your future clouds for today, you can see it's going to be pretty sunny all day today. I have rain chances today and tomorrow, both at a very mere 10%. So if you do see rain today, you should be very lucky because lots of beaming sunshine today. It's going to bring us up to I'm thinking about 95 this afternoon in Victoria, or going to be 90 at noontime. And I'm thinking northwestern counties, y'all might see a degree or two higher than that, 96, 97, or maybe even 98 for a few moments or so. But another bad news, pollen's going to continue to be high today. We're talking grass and ragweed, both very high. I've had sniffles all morning, so that pretty much guarantees that that's pretty high today. And your UV index, that's also going to be very high. So if you have some sensitive skin, maybe put on some sunscreen. But for the rest of this week, like I said, look at that. Every day is the exact same thing from the forecast. But coming up next, we're going to take a look at what's stirring up in the tropics. Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. Now, we turn our attention to the race for the White House. Today, both presidential candidates and their running mates are back on the campaign trail with new questions about their safety.
Former President Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail today, headed to a town hall in Michigan and recalling for the second time in as many months an apparent attempt on his life.
All of a sudden we heard shots being fired in the air, and I guess probably 4 or 5. And it sounded like bullets, but what do I know about that? But Secret Service knew immediately it was bullets. And they grabbed me.
Federal investigators say 53-year-old Ryan Ruth was hiding in the hedges near Trump's West Palm Beach Golf Club for approximately 12 hours. An agent walking ahead of the former president spotted the barrel of what was later described as a loaded semi-automatic rifle with a scope. The agent opened fire. Routh fled in his black SUV, then was arrested less than an hour later. Today, both presidential candidates and their running mates are back campaigning, reaching 6 states total.
This is a very difficult environment to navigate. The candidates want to get out and touch people, but we have a situation now where we have a threat matrix that is unprecedented.
Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance are placing blame on Democrats while offering no remorse on Republicans' rhetoric.
The big difference between conservatives and liberals is that no one has tried to kill Kamala Harris in the last couple of months, and 2 people now have tried to kill Donald Trump in the last couple of months.
President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris have both condemned the violence. Biden already called for increased security after the first attempt in Butler, saying the Secret Service should have whatever it needs from Congress and the White House.
America suffered too many times the tragedy of an assassin's bullet. We must do everything we can to prevent it and never give it any oxygen.
Investigators are combing through Ruth's long rap sheet and online footprint, looking into whether Ruth took issue with Trump's positions on the war in Ukraine. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
After years of planning and waiting, Victoria Regional Airport was finally awarded grant money for a much-needed new taxiway. Victoria Regional was awarded a $10 million grant from the FAA, plus another $1 million match from the county, all to replace the outdated taxiway that is currently being used. Lenny Lorena, Victoria Regional Airport manager, says the construction of a new taxiway is something that needs to be completed in order for the airport to continue to grow.
And it happens to be a portion of an old runway. So it was not designed to be a taxiway. It was a piece of an old runway. It doesn't meet the geometry and safety in accordance to FAA standards. And we finally got the money to do this new taxiway.
This new runway is just the beginning of a complete renovation of the airport, complete with new runways and a control tower. Lorena says the construction of the new taxiway will begin in about 30 days. I know that's really exciting news for you air travelers out there. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code. It's right there on your screen to take part. We want to know, have you ever flown out of or landed at the Victoria Regional Airport? Okay, I know Parker and I both have traveled through the airport. 59% of you say yes, you have as well, and 41% of you say no, you have not. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The waters at Riverside Park's Duck Pond were cleaned recently. Parks and Recreation partnered with the Texas Parks and Wildlife Pond Doctor of Texas and Fusion Land Services, LLC, to clear away overgrown pondweed that was causing algae blooms. The City of Victoria urges Duck Pond visitors to stay out of the water. Keep your pets on a leash and make sure your children are behaving safely. The City of Victoria City Council meets at 5 p.m. this evening. They'll consider approval of the purchasing contracts for computers, software, and related equipment, spending at least $1.3 million, as well as the allocation of funding to outside agencies for fiscal year 2025 from hotel occupancy tax funds. This action would commit the city to providing $135,000 to 17 different contracts. So that would be spread out across 17 different contracts. The council meets at 5 p.m. this evening at 107 West Wanland Street. The time is now 6:48 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come, authorities arrested a celebrity music performer and producer Monday night. Okay, it's time to celebrate those birthdays. Happy birthday to Ellie. Happy 19th birthday, big sis. I love you. Hope you have an amazing day. I remember turning 19.
Oh yeah, that was a great day. Happy birthday, Ellie. And also happy birthday to Jesus. Happy 10th birthday, Jesus Jr. I love you from brothers, sisters, mom, and dad.
So sweet. And happy birthday to Kansas City quarterback Patrick Mahomes. The football champion and Texas native is 29
That's
today.
Right. He is a Texas native. That's pretty cool. Happy birthday, Patrick. And also happy birthday to Damien. Happy birthday, Damien, and have a great day today. We love you from all of your family. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
And the time is now 6:49 on your Tuesday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're tuning in with me this morning, I'm sure a lot of you are still wondering what's going on out there in the tropics. Well, because I've been talking about it all morning. Well, we're going to take a look at that in just a second, what might be coming our way, because I'm only going to spend a few seconds here on now post-tropical cyclone 8 with winds still between 25 to 35 miles an hour sustained. You can see it's still spinning all over North Carolina and also all across other states along the East Coast this morning. And it's going to continue moving actually all the way along the East Coast going into later this week and this weekend, bringing them along the East Coast, lots and lots of rain. But we're not the East Coast. We are in Texas. We love Texas, and what's coming towards us might be coming our way. I'm not guaranteeing it yet. So what I'm going to continue watching over the next week and a half is going to be this big gigantic complex of showers and thunderstorms that are currently over Central America and also parts of northern South America as well. And what some computers are suggesting is that with high pressure that's been dominating us for the last week or so, giving us a lot of that hot and sunny weather, that's going to start moving towards the eastern coast of the United States as we go into this weekend. And what that does is, because winds around high pressure are clockwise, as it moves over here, winds are now going to be moving this way towards the northwest. So any system that does develop or tries to develop could be shifted up towards the Gulf as we go into mid next week. So I'm going to have my eyes peeled for that. And not only am I watching that, so is the Climate Prediction Center. They got chances of development at 20 to 40%. So I will continue to have more details on that possible spin-up system as we go into next week. But in the meantime, it's going to be a great week to go out there to the coast. Lots of sunshine, no really rain in the forecast. Waves are pretty smooth, 1 foot or less. And your wind's light to 5 to 10 knots, and your water's still very warm at 88 degrees. But we're going to take a look at that more coming up later on Sunrise.
Performer and producer Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested, the music mogul's attorney says. Combs was taken into custody at a Manhattan hotel Monday night and was immediately processed. His attorney says Combs has been cooperating with the investigation. U.S. Attorney Damian Williams confirmed the arrest, adding that it was based on a sealed indictment. Those charges will not be revealed until later this morning. Diddy apparently even relocated to New York last week in anticipation of being charged. Boeing contract negotiations are resuming, a union representative says. The source says a federal mediator is holding discussions today. It's the first time Boeing and union leaders will sit down since a massive strike began last Friday. About 33,000 Boeing employees are on strike, and the company's main aircraft production work is virtually shut down. Analysts say the walkout could cost the manufacturer more than $1 billion if it lasts for months. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A San Antonio judge has denied an effort to prevent the mailing of voter registration applications in one of the state's largest counties. A San Antonio judge has denied an effort to prevent the mailing of voting registration applications in Bexar County. Commissioners in Bexar County approved a plan to mail more than 200,000 applications to unregistered residents. Officials used an outside vendor for distribution, and that move led Republican State Attorney General Ken Paxton to file a lawsuit. Paxton argued it's illegal to arrange a mass mailing of registration applications. Our road in Victoria County Precinct 4 will be closed for several hours starting this morning. Tipton Road will close from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. for cross pipe work. Other parts of the city will be getting a cleanup this weekend, with Keep Victoria Beautiful hosting its fall sweep. Volunteers will meet outside of the Target parking lot on Saturday, and they'll work from 8 to 10 a.m. Teams of 6 or more will be assigned locations, and breakfast and drinks will be provided. Children age 11 and older are welcome to help, of course, with an adult for safety. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with First Warn Storm Team meteorologist Parker Cox. And Parker, we may want to ask our viewers or remind them to set a reminder to tune in Friday, because you're going to have an update on the tropics out there.
I will have an update on the tropics because a lot of the computers are now really suggesting that there will be some kind of system forming out of that system I was talking about in the Caribbean as we go into late next week. It could be in the Gulf, but we're going to have more details on that later this week. But in the meantime, look at this beautiful sunrise over the coast this morning. All sorts of colors out there. If you're going to see it, it's a great time to do that. We're all in the upper 70s and plenty humid up there. If you do see any fog, that should be burning off between 8 or 9 a.m. Right back to sunny skies, and that's going to bring another hot day across the beautiful state today. Lots of 90s in the forecast, but looking a little closer to home, I'm thinking about 92 this afternoon in Port Lavaca. It's already going to be about 90 degrees at noontime. Lots and lots of sunshine expected. No rain expected. 95 this afternoon in Victoria. Also lots of sunshine, and Aquara a little bit warmer, maybe 96 or 97 today. Also lots and lots of sunshine. But if you like that forecast, get a load of this. We've got that weather every single day this week, and like Carolina was saying, we got to start watching the tropics for next week.
That's right. We can't let this steady pace of weather, this consistent sameness catch us off guard.
Yeah, definitely.
So you want to be sure to get your hurricane tracking guide. You can go to Full of Pep and several other locations to get your guide to make sure you have everything you need to be hurricane ready.
Absolutely. We want to be prepared.
That's right. And another way to prepare, it's National Voter Registration Day. Go out, make sure you're registered to vote, and have a great day.